Hello again, it's me bringing you some more drumming parts. What I'm going to look at today is just like a little kind of a little breakaway from the beat, but we're going to focus on doing like a little 30-second note trick on the bass drum. It makes you sort of sound like you've got a double bass drum pedal. Or for anyone that doesn't know what you're doing, it sounds like there's more than one pedal going on there. But it's a really good little exercise just to sort of get your bass drum working in and around those hi-hats and a little bit of speed. So I'll show you how it goes and I'll break it down, and you might get something out of it. Okay. Okay, so it's that little bit there that I'm looking at. Okay, so if I break it down as much as I can, all that's really going on with your hands, it's like going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, like that. Okay, so that brings it back round. Otherwise, you sort of you do 2 groups of 6 and 1 group of 4, sort of thing, and then you get that 16 notes. So that sort of fits in within a 4/4 measure. Okay, but it's kind of weird because it's going to sort of bring in that sort of triplety, septuplety vibe halfway through it. Okay, and so before I do that, so what I'll do is between the bass drum and the hi-hat in its simplest form, I'm sort of just basically doing this. But then every sort of 3 notes I'm putting a snare drum, so you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I can bring it back in like that. So normally I just do 2 groups. Before I do that little ba ba ba, which just goes like that. So that's snare, bass, snare, snare, like that. So the snare drum basically takes the place of the bass drum, which gives you time to fall back into that beat. Okay, so without doing the extra sort of like doubles on the bass drum, I'll show you what it will sound like. The hands are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, like that. Okay? Now, for the little tricky double bass part. Now what I'm doing in this part, instead of playing just, so basically playing 16 notes between my hi-hat and my foot. But then what I'm going to do is, every now and again, just before I hit the snare drum, I'm going to turn one of those 16th notes into 2 30-second notes. So you get this. It gives that really sort of rolling. It just sounds quite it's like a little trick. It sounds like a double bass drum pedal, but it's not. It's just the one. Okay, so what I would practice is just going. Okay, so that's tick, boom, boom, tick. Okay, so you've got to really sort of like push all that energy into that bass drum and get that double flick. So what I'm doing is I'm sort of using the slide technique. Okay, so coming down on the bass drum and sliding the foot up to get that second note. Okay, and you can do that. You'll just see my legs sort of go up and down once. You're doing the rest with sort of your heel and your toes and stuff like that. Okay, so if we try that a bit slower, so we... your right hand's just sticking to the same pulse it would be if you're playing like a drum beat, so... But now my leg hurts a little bit. Okay, so if we try and put that all together, if you've got any more questions about it, I can try and explain it. But yeah, I'll play it a couple more times for you. Hopefully that will help. If not, just get in contact with me and I'll try and explain it and break it down a bit more. Okay, so let's just kick off with a normal groove and I'll just shove it in a couple of times and we'll call it a day. you can just practice putting simple beats. It's a really good little trick, and once you've got it, you can just sort of, and it just gives like an extra little bit of garnish or flavour to those fills. Especially when you sort of play it in around the bass drum. You've got 2 bass drums just before, which are 30-second notes. You have the snare drum with the hi-hat, and then you'll have that 16th note bass drum just following afterwards. Okay? Now, I hope you get something out of that. Like I said, if you didn't quite get it, just give us a shout. I'll be happy to help. And yeah, leave a comment, subscribe, and all that if you haven't, or check out the other videos if you haven't already. Okay, so yeah, I think we'll call it a day on that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll have some more videos coming out pretty soon. Alright, cheers.